Well, hey there, this is Jerry with What's Broke Today, and today we've got a John Deere 425 that I'm assuming has a charging problem because he drives it and it runs the battery down. So it's probably not rejuvenating the battery as we go. And I'm going to get set up and we're going to do a few tests. Now the first test I was going to run is I unplugged the voltage regulator. And here on the regulator we've got, looks like a total of 6 wires. Yeah, so our 2 brown wires, one has a brown with a white stripe, brown with a yellow stripe. They go to the stator, which generate our AC voltage. And then our red wire goes straight to the battery, and our yellow wire goes through the ignition switch. And our black wire is ground. And then our other little wire here goes to the charge light up on the dash. So we'll start out with, let's check, make sure we got power from the battery. So I'll back probe that and come to the engine. And I've got 12.05 volts. Now I'll move over to the yellow wire here. And with the key off, I got nothing. Turn the key on, I actually have 11.8 volts. Then I'm going to switch this over to continuity. Go to the black wire. And then to our engine. And we got our ground. The next thing I'm going to do is I charged the battery. I don't know if I charged it enough. I'm going to start the engine. I'm going to go across our brown wires and see if we got AC volts. Because I was reading in the book and it looks like I want to go from ground to each wire. So I'm going to go actually from the ground on the engine to each wire, and then I'm going to go across both wires. So let's see if this thing will start. Oh, set the brake. Okay, so when I went from the brown with white stripe to the engine, I had close to 12 volts AC. When I went from the brown with the yellow stripe, I had 13 volts AC. When I went across the 2, I had the 26 volts AC, which is what the book calls for. So now that I'm going to plug that back in, and I'm going to go to the battery up here in the front. I think I may have to take this out and drive it around and get it heated up, because with it running, when I first put the meter on and I had on DC, I had 12.91 volts, and after it ran a little bit, at the end I had 12.93. And let's see, what year is this battery? I mean, I just wonder if possibly, which I don't know how old this thing is. Well, it's a January of 24, so it's a it's say 6 months old at the oldest. Yeah, so I'm not really sure right now because I hadn't really took out and drove it. I just know it showed up and we had to jump start it to bring it in. So I think I'm going to charge the battery some more, and then I'm going to take out for a drive, and by the time I get it charged, it should be dry enough outside to go out and maybe do some mowing. That wonder if he maybe has a bad connection somewhere and intermittently it's not charging. And I'll see if I can rig this up where I can monitor the charging while I'm driving, so I can have my voltmeter on it and actually clipped straight to the battery and see what we get. All right, well, I'm finally getting back to the John Deere 425 that was having the runnability problem. And when he dropped it off, the battery was dead or almost dead. So I charged the battery, and then a few days, it was probably 4 or 5 days later, I went to go out, just mow some grass, see if I could repeat what his problem was, and it wouldn't start. The battery was dead again. So I charged the battery. Well, after I got done charging the battery, I tested it with my battery tester, and it tested good. So I figured, well, the next day or so I'd go out and mow. Well, it sat 2 or 3 days, come out here, it wouldn't start. Checked, battery was dead again. So I decided, well, I'll charge it back up, and check to make sure the key was off and there wasn't nothing left on, because it's got an auxiliary thing rigged up for his sprayer, but the sprayer's not there, so even if the switch was on, it shouldn't run the battery down. But I charged it, just waited about 24 hours, come out here, and the battery it wasn't dead, but it's close. So a couple of days ago, maybe 3, I come out here, I disconnected the negative battery cable. I charged the battery for about 24 hours. Then I took the charger off and let it set for, I can't remember if it was 24 or 48 hours. I can't remember if I let it set 1 or 2 days. But I come out here and I took my load tester, clipped it onto the negative terminal of the battery, and then onto the negative cable, and I'm reading voltage. So I started out, I pulled all the fuses, because there's 2 fuses on the circuit board that's attached to the ignition switch, and then the 3rd fuse actually goes to his sprayer. Pulled all those, nothing changed. So then I come over here, and because I'd already spent time messing with this, why I know what I'm going to do. So as soon as I pull the cable off of the solenoid, my meter goes down to 0. So I pull all 3 of the wires off. We got the one that goes to the tractor harness, the one that goes to the I don't know, some kind of interlock device, plus the one that goes to my relay. And then I'll put this back on the starter, and it's still reading 0. Take the one from a relay, put on there, I'm still reading 0. The one to that safety device, as soon as I touch it, I start reading voltage. So I can touch the other one up here and still nothing. So I end up disconnecting this, because I was using this analog meter, because it generates more of a load than a voltmeter will. A digital voltmeter really doesn't generate any load. But I can put my light there and stick it in the battery where I can see it. And of course, with all 3 of those hooked up, I got nothing. As soon as I touch that, my light comes on. So it's something to do with this goofy thing, which it's an interlock device. Can't say I really totally understand how it works, but I guess I'm gonna need to figure it out. Oh. But for now, I got my light is on. I'll put the nut on so it holds all three of those wires on the starter. And then I'll take the yellow wire that comes out of that, and one end of it goes to the solenoid on the carburetor. As soon as I unplug that, we lose power. So, and this should only send power to that solenoid when the key is on. So let's go ahead and plug that back in. And of course it also kills power to, I think, the ignition system. But if we unplug the other wire, there, still works. Unplug that one, we're still powered up. Now we'll just leave those both unplugged. Then we'll come down here and unplug the orange wire. So yeah, so everything stays powered up going to that fuel solenoid. So I'm going to say my battery draining thing is this safety device. So yeah, I'll pull that off and that off, and then I brought out all kinds of tools because I didn't know what I was going to need. So I have to get on the John Deere website, or actually it's got a part number on it. So it'd be a lot easier to look up using the part number that's on it than it will be trying to look through a wiring diagram and find that on the website. Off. And it's really easy to figure out how to plug it in because, you know, the color of the wires and the end it has on it, because this fuel solenoid has the male butt connector, the tractor harness has the female, and of course the male on the orange wire, which it goes down to a box that I think is our ignition box. And this is AM128906. Well, I got the new part from John Deere. I got it on here, got it zip tied up where it's not just dangling. Kind of zip tied the wires, everything plugged back in. Hooked the battery up. We're going to monitor this and make sure it doesn't run the battery down again, but we should be fine. Yeah, I'm just gonna let this set for a few hours. I'm gonna do a voltage check with my meter, and then when I come back later, I'll recheck it and see where we're at. Another thing, it's raining today, so I can't go out and mow. Well, I got done test driving the John Deere that I went out and mowed with it for roughly about, I'll say about 40, maybe 45 minutes. I probably should have looked at the clock before I started. I just kind of doing it based on the hour meter on the unit. Didn't miss a beat. Let it set another couple days, and it fired right up and didn't have any issues. So I sent it home, and he was going to use it that night because I'd run out of things to mow around here. So, but yeah, I'll say he rode on it, and so far so good that hadn't cut out or had any trouble getting it started. So, but hey, I appreciate you watching. We always like those thumbs up for the likes. Thanks for all those comments, and hey, we're approaching that 800 subscriber barrier, so let's push on up to 1,000. That I'll say, because like I say, if you're not a subscriber, better join on in, because they'll tell them what else you'll see on What's Broke Today. Thank you.